Good morning. Hey, I am Steve Weber. Welcome to the American Gumption Morning Show. Getting started a few minutes late this morning. It's Monday, May 24th, and today is show number 178. So today's going to be an abbreviated show. I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping items. Here, I'll throw up. I'm not going to throw up. I'm going to placed on the screen the monologue housekeeping. That's all we're going to do today. We're going to take care of a couple small little details, tell you a little bit about what's happening this week and about what's happening in the big picture of things, and then we'll sign off for today. And so that's all that we're going to do. So here, let me tell you about what's happening this week. Before I do that, get into the specific housekeeping items and let you know why I wasn't sure if I was broadcasting today or what, but anyway, here's the schedule. Now we got it figured out. So tomorrow there's going to be no live show, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. I'll just tease it and not tease it, but let you know that I'll be attending a funeral tomorrow. My Aunt Barbara, 88 years old, passed away on Friday, and so we'll be going down to Ocean City, New Jersey, and celebrating her life and visiting with family. So that's going to be tomorrow. All right. So, and then now Wednesday, on Wednesday, I'm going to do a live remote from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, from the Pilates studio of Stacy Redfield. So I'm going to do a remote show. I'm going to go up there this afternoon, and we're going to kind of set up things and make sure everything works right. And then we'll come to you live on Wednesday. So after I sign off today, that's where the next show will be, is Wednesday morning. And actually, that is going to be at 10:30 to 11:30 Eastern time, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. on the Pacific. So we're starting 1/2 hour late. So make a note of that. We'll be starting 1/2 hour late on Wednesday, and we'll be doing about an hour broadcast. And that's what's happening on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I have Jedediah Crouch going to join us. And Jedediah and I have known each other for the last several months. Through the Spirituality Gone Wild, I got to know Jedediah, and he's an author. He's a contributing author to a book, and I read his chapter, his story, and we'll share that. So we'll get into that. It's really a story of recovery. It's a story of learning to love yourself, forgive yourself, overcome challenges that you were born and raised into. And so anyway, Jedediah will share that on Thursday. Looking forward to that. Alrighty, so again, just to repeat, tomorrow no live show, and then Wednesday a live remote broadcast starting 1/2 hour later than the normal time, so 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday. That's Eastern time, 7:30 to 8:30 on the West Coast. Thursday, Jedediah Crouch. Planning to do a show on Friday. Do not have a guest that I can announce, but we've got lots of potential guests lined up. So, this has been a fun time the last few weeks where I've been really kind of refilling the pipeline as far as guests goes. And I believe that that's really going to, pay off. And I'm going to have lots of great guests coming up over the next couple of months. So anyway, alrighty. So now let's go ahead and shift gears, and I'll tell you what's happening. And this, like I said, this is just going to be a little bit of a housekeeping, and I've got 5 items that I'm going to go through. And so we'll just, we'll just share those things with you. Alrighty. So number one is I want to put my Aunt Barbara up on the screen. Aunt Barbara left us on Friday, transitioned to the afterlife, and return to the place that she came from, right? We all come into this time and space from the other side, the other realm, and we incarnate into a life. And Barbara was with us for 88 years. And hey, there's not very many people in a person's life who you ate Thanksgiving dinner with every year for, the first 20 years of my life. Other family members who didn't leave and go to California, got to enjoy Aunt Barbara for probably 40 years of Thanksgiving dinners. And so anyway, but she passed away on Friday morning. She was married to my Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom is my dad's brother, a couple years younger than Dad. Dad's 92. Tom, I believe, is 88, and Barbara was also 88 when she passed on Friday. So we're going to miss her. Tomorrow I will go to Ocean City and visit with my cousins Sue, Patty, and Lisa, who Barbara and Tom's 3 daughters, and of course their husbands and their families and extended families. And so it'll be a family visit in celebration of Barbara Weber's life. So we will miss you, Aunt Barbara. Thank you for the good memories and for being the kind and generous person that you were to me all throughout my life. So we're going to miss you very much. All righty. So no live show tomorrow. We'll be, I said, we'll be paying our respects. All right. Now, over the weekend, Spirituality Gone Wild did the Spirituality Gone Wild Cafe, SGWcafe.com, SGW Cafe. Now, this was something that Debbie Garcia planned for the last couple of months, along with Kathy Mason. And this idea really was birthed right before I went on my Drive Across America trip. And I didn't quite know what was going to happen. I didn't, it was really something that was envisioned by, I think Kathy was probably maybe a little more so than Debbie in terms of the energy behind it and the idea. And so anyway, I was involved in like the initial talking about it and discussions, but I was leaving for my trip, and the initial time for the weekend conference that took place this past weekend was going to be like right, kind of shortly after I got back from my trip. So, it ended up getting pushed back a little bit later until it actually happened, and that's all fine and dandy. So it did happen this weekend. But anyway, I didn't, at the time, I didn't feel like I was able to participate in it because I didn't quite understand exactly what it was going to be. And I didn't know that, all along I've said that I don't feel like I'm a spiritual teacher as much as I'm more of a broadcaster and someone who is a student of this realm. So I love interviewing and talking with the teachers, but I don't necessarily feel like myself as a teacher where I actually have a course in some kind of a specific thing. So really what happened was this weekend, there were between Kathy and Debbie, they ended up interviewing 18 different thought leaders, spiritual teachers, and so these interviews went on, and you kind of got to know who these people were, and you got to know what their brand was all about. Some of them I had already known, from the Spirituality Gone Wild family. Several of them I've interviewed on this show before, and then there was a whole bunch that I did not know at all. And so I ended up making sure that I got a chance to watch almost all of the people that I didn't know before, and so because I really wanted to know who they were and what what they were offering, and it was really a great event. These people are if I'm going to kind of generalize and sum up, who they are. Most of them have had some kind of a spiritual awakening, and now they have they're teaching what it is that they awaken to. Lots of them are authors. Many of them have, they have kind of a specialty within the spirituality awakening community, where they have one particular thing that they specialize in and help people in their particular way. But all of them are committed to, enhancing the human experience and making it better for people and sharing the gift that they have. And they all have some kind of a special gift that they can, communicate with that, that other side and the spiritual realm, and, receive like downloads or special connections. And I don't know that I have that. I'm working on that, and I definitely, I've talked about tuning up my vibration meter and all of that, and I'm working on it and learning, but I kind of feel like I'm more of a student. So anyway, it would probably not have been appropriate for me to participate in it, because the types of things that I do are really more in communicating with people, as opposed to communicating directly with source and then teaching that specific idea. So anyway, that's I just wanted to compliment Debbie and Kathy for a great job they did. It's SGW Cafe, and they have that domain, and now they've got it all set up, and they'll do these conferences. I don't know how often, maybe quarterly, whatever it turns out to be. Maybe they'll become, maybe they'll do a monthly. I have no idea on what that was, but this was the first one, and it was really, from a production point of view and from a content point of view, it looked to me to be a success. And so I just wanted to talk about that and share that, because I think both Debbie and Kathy did a great job to make that happen. And I learned a lot, and I made some, I haven't made new friends specifically with these folks yet, but learned a lot in terms of that. So, and here's just a couple of things that I really one thing I'm going to say from one particular guest, and he said, just focus on 3 or 4 things. And I heard that because I'm a guy I'm an idea guy. I love variety. This is a variety show, and I love variety. And so I've got all kinds of ideas, and yet have I been executing on them as well as I need to? Probably not. And so anyway, I heard from Howard Wills specifically that, hey, just focus on 3 or 4 things. And so I went, oh my gosh, that was really it was almost like it was meant for me. So I ended up, right after I heard that, I instantly was able to think of the 3 or 4 things I should focus on. And it's not like I have to forget all those other things. It's just focus on 3 or 4 things, get those 3 or 4 things done under control, and then move on to the other things, because I've had so many ideas. And that's okay, but I heard this message and loud and clear. So here's the 3 things I'm going to be focusing on. And first one is the show. This American Gumption morning show, that is the number one focus that I will be continuing to do, and I'll be making some subtle and some shifts and changes over the next, couple of weeks. We talked about this starting a month ago when I got back from my drive across America, that it was a chance to do a reset. I talked about it last week when Natalie Coleman was on. We dedicated the show to talking about resets. And so lots of resets are going. Doesn't mean like you're throwing everything out. You're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You're just making some subtle adjustments and changes and tweaks. And so having, broadcast the show since August, and then taking the drive across America, and then coming back and going, okay, let's start fine tuning this. Let's make this a little bit more what I want it to be, as opposed to just sort of what it evolved into being. Wasn't anything wrong with what it evolved into being, but it's time to tighten it up and focus it. So that's number one, is the morning show we'll be focusing on. The RV sponsor proposal will be the number 2 thing I'll be working on. I've got a lot of ideas on that, but it's not all put together. And so it needs to be put together, and I need to go out there and get that particular piece of this puzzle in place so that I can be out on the road in the next, 3 to 6 months. Alrighty. And then the third thing that I'll be focusing on is my websites. It was 1 year ago when I launched. Not quite 1 year ago, it was July 4th or July 7th is when I launched AmericanGumption.com. And I have a whole other series of websites. And so anyway, upgrading all the websites, kind of upgrading the American Gumption, because the American Gumption show really isn't highlighted and focused in the original American Gumption website. And so it's time to upgrade the website, Speaking Gump, Change by Gumption. And then I have a list of other websites but those 3, I'll just focus on those 3. So American Gumption, Speaking Gump, and Change by Gumption. All righty. And the content's all there. It's already in there. It's already there. It just needs to be kind of fine-tuned and refocused. And that's funny that so that's that brings me to the next housekeeping item, and that's the monologue. So my monologues the last 2 weeks have gotten a lot more with the graphics and prepared and doing more of a presentation style monologue. So I did the American Gumption last Thursday and Friday. I did the American Gumption show topics, and then I did purpose, mission, vision statements that I had done 7 years ago and updating it. So I see a lot more of that. I see the monologue. So maybe one day a week, I just do nothing but a monologue that is going to be some kind of more prepared monologue. So these are all the subtle changes that I'm talking about, and will come clear as I go forward. So as I've been starting to dig back into some of these things, I've got 10 years worth of written content on the Speaking Gump website and just in my computer files. And so there's some good stuff in there. And I've been a little bit shy about sharing that just because, it's kind of like I created it for myself. But now it's time to bring that out into the world, repurpose it and broadcast it and bring it forth. So that's another one of those things that can be happening as I've done this. So I'm going to wrap up here and just say that, I went on the drive across America a couple of months ago. 2 months ago now, it was March 17th. So May. So it was over 2 months ago when I left. And then about, 5 weeks ago when I got back and 6 weeks ago when I got back, and I was at a complete dead stop in terms of it when I got back from that drive in terms of like momentum. And then it was like, okay, it's time for that reset. And then you start doing it. And initially, I just kind of tried to reset it to like start up where I had left off because it was a good place. It wasn't a bad place, but then adding in little subtle changes and making it. So, and one of those subtle changes is I'm broadcasting with a new StreamYard account today. So I've been using Debbie's Spirituality Gone Wild. So a group of us have created a second Spirituality Gone Wild broadcast StreamYard account. And so we are sharing one particular account. This will free up some space for Debbie to use it. And then it'll also allow us to, broadcast into some other places. And so going forward, I will be attempting to put this show out into different places, different locations, more and more. So that's really it, I think, on the whole thing. This has been a reset the last couple of weeks. I wanted to share with you what's going on. I'll just acknowledge a couple people joining us. Fleet is from Palm Springs, and I got to meet Fleet on the drive across America, so that was great. And Kimberly, thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, Aunt Barbara is going to be missed, but we will celebrate her life tomorrow. So yeah, and Kimberly is joining us here, she says, from Pollock Pines, California. So thank you, Kimberly, for joining us. All righty. Thank you very much. All righty. Well, that's it. This was I wasn't sure if I was going to even do today's show because I thought I might do this kind of a thing tomorrow. And then I just really finally learned that tomorrow was the day that we get to celebrate Aunt Barbara's life. And so so I'll take the day off as far as the broadcasting. But I'll see you on Wednesday. From Bethlehem, PA, Pennsylvania, from the Pilates studio of Stacy Redfield. And then on Friday, I'll be back in this studio, and Jedediah Crouch will be sharing his story of awakening. And I believe that's the title of the chapter in which he was a contributing author for the book that he is, that he was part of. So, all righty. Well, that is it. Have a great rest of your day. And again, I've been using this brand new StreamYard account. It's the same technology, but just a different account. So I had to reload things up and get things, organized a little bit better or differently. And I think I've got it all together. So have a nice day. We'll see you on Wednesday from Bethlehem, from Stacy Redfield's Pilates studio in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.